in mind, right? For the whole country, for most of us, our salaries, our incomes, the money we make is not enough. It's not enough for various reasons, because prices have gone up, because incomes have not kept up with prices, the exchange rate is going through the roof, and we could go on and on and on. Bottom line, the money is not enough. So Christmas comes, that small money gets spent. The New Year comes. Then there's Constitution Day, Inauguration Day, call it what you want. It's tough for you.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm prepared to bet 60 to 70% of the ordinary person is already feeling flat broke. And there are 2.5 more weeks to go.
My goodness.
Before there's an alert on the phone.
My goodness. And there is school fees to be paid.
School fees for your kids.
Yes.
School fees for those in secondary school. Some of them went to school this week. School fees for yourself. You're doing a master's or something.
So,
no.
sandwich programs and things.
It's tough.
Wow. Will it get better as the year goes by?
Okay, now, the reason why we're having this chat is how to make it better, right? But it won't get better automatically.
On its own, right.
No. Right. You're going to have to be very intentional about your finances. And that's the only way it's going to get better. Listen, the economy is in dire straits. Companies are not doing as well as they could. Salaries are not keeping up. Businesses are not booming. And it's not going to change overnight.
Right.
So this year will be tough. But guess what? The onus is on you.
Let's situate it in the global geopolitical perspective. We're seeing a lot of sweeping across the globe, change in government. We see the Russia-Ukraine war is still ongoing. The BRICS, the growth of that, all of that is happening. And it looks like there's going to be some hard landing for everyone who is seeking financial, personal financial independence.
Yeah. Now, in terms of situating it properly, remember that for a lot of the ordinary Ghanaians, one way out is to consider, can I hop outside the country? Or can I...
Want to Jakba?
Jakba,
yes,
as the term goes. The challenge you have is that because of generally all the changes going on and all the difficulties and the cost of living crisis and the more the conservative and right-wing movements that are sweeping across, you're going to find that the places where we used to go are not as receptive.
They're anti-migration.
They're anti-migration. The US, the cost of living crisis in the UK, all of Europe is moving to the right. So you're going to find that people are not very receptive to you jackpotting into their country.
Wow.
Even those who are jackpot already,
they are struggling.
Want to close the gate to you who is now coming. So in situating it, you're going to find that this year, there's going to be less opportunity for people to jackpot.
Right.
Less opportunity for people to move outside.
Right.
And less opportunity for us to get inflows from those of us, those who have been lucky enough to jackpot and who have been cushioning that a bit. So that's the global thing.
In the midst of this brokenness, how can we mend ourselves in our financial pursuit? First of all, how do I critically assess my financial situation and know what steps to take to be at least economically independent?
Now, first of all, you have to understand a very simple equation.
Right.
And that equation starts with how much you earn. Everything you earn goes into that, what I call that basket. Right? And when I say how much you earn, it's the salary, It's your side hustle. It's a gift. Literally, even if you take bribes, it includes the bribes.
My word.
A close relationship gives you money.
Right.
It all goes into that basket.
So windfalls, freebies, side hustles, earnings, allowances, everything.
Legal, illegal, moral, immoral, all goes into that basket.
Right.
From that basket, you spend.
Yes.
After you spend, what is left is savings.
Right.
Right? Now, once you understand that equation, and from savings, that is what you can use to invest. So first there's your basket of all your earnings. Legal, salary, moral, immoral, whatever it is. Then there's all the spending that you do.
We don't encourage the immoral ones, though. But we are just saying that whatever you get, however you get it, right,
goes into that whole basket. Then you go into the spending part, which is whatever you do, whether you're spending it on drugs, on school fees, on food, on transport, whatever it is.
Right.
Paying off all debt,
right,
paying interest, paying whatever it is, it's spending.
right.
After that, whatever is left, if any, is savings.
Is there ever any left?
Now, the key thing to being intentional is that you've got to make sure there is some left.
Wow.
That's the first part of the equation. Whatever you do, however you do it, you've got to make sure that there is some left. Now, that sounds sometimes almost ridiculous, isn't it?
It's very hard because by the time you're done spending on transport, going to work and coming home, your earning is finished. You've not talked about food, you've not talked about data, clothes.
So one of the things that we're going to talk about today is, number one, we've got to increase income.
Right.
And we're talking about the rest of the year. January is already gone. But whatever you do, you're going to have to be intentional about increasing income.
Right.
You have to be intentional about reducing spending.
Right.
And finding ways to spend less. Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I keep telling people, maybe you should stop using your private car and hop onto public transport.
It's more expensive, isn't it? It's riskier using the cheaper ones, and it's more expensive using the convenient ones.
But you've got to find a middle ground.
Okay.
Because what makes your car expensive is not the cost of fuel every day. It's the maintenance of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So you got to look at public transport. And I assure you, public transport may be less comfortable, may be less convenient.
And it's very risky. I tried it during Christmas.
Maybe even more risky.
Yes.
But it is cheaper.
Okay. So we are just looking for ways to reduce
your expenditure.
So for example, if I take my
if you're already on public transport, maybe you should start walking part of the way.
Okay.
Or getting a motor, or getting a bike.
That's some austerity measure you are
Listen, the point is this. The only way you're going to survive and thrive and prosper in this situation is to find ways to increase income and spend less.
Okay.
So that from your savings, you can start to invest. Now, remember, unless you save, you cannot invest. And what is an investment? An investment is just something that provides me with income or holds value.
Okay.
Right? It's an asset that by itself provides me with more income or holds value. And then that asset is wealth.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So wealth is not your income.
Right.
So maybe I'm CEO of Dalex Finance. If all my pay is spent lavishly so that I have nothing saved, I am broke. If the cleaner in my office finds a way to earn a little more, spend a little less, save more and invest, right? She is maybe wealthier than I am.
Interesting equation Joe Jackson is sharing with us how to improve our personal finance. When we are back from this break, I will be finding out from him what investment instruments are ideal for us, but also what practical ways can we reduce our spending and then increase our earning. And then, with all some of the things we've seen, haircuts and all of that, is investment still a safe way to improve or increase your wealth? Questions for Joe Jackson after this break.
This is your chance to be served by a robot at Accra's premier destination for fine dining, Hallmark Cafe, located in Jowolu, just after the Allied filling station. It's the perfect spot for delectable pastries, desserts, hot and cold beverages, as well as a variety of continental and local dishes to satisfy your cravings. Enjoy convenient staff lunch services, expert kitchen management, and outdoor event hosting. Here, simply press a button and your waitress will be at your table in no time. Visit Hallmark Cafe today and experience the future of fine dining. Call us now at 053-7344-095 to make your reservation. Hallmark Cafe. Delight in every sip and bite.
Welcome from the break. This is Effective Living Series 2025. My name is Caleb Kuda. We are hanging out with Joe Jackson. We are looking at how to improve our personal finances. Joe Jackson, you are recommending some very drastic measures for us to take in order to reduce our spending. So, for example, if I buy bottled water, you would say I should buy sachet water now?
Yes. Simple answer, yes.
And if I take my clothes to the laundry?
Please, wash it yourself. If you buy only designer clothes, start looking at used clothes. The point is simply this. Unless you find a way to have a surplus, when you take your income together and you take out the expenditure, so that there's what we call savings before you can invest, you have no pathway to wealth.
Right.
And you are doomed to stay in that poverty-stricken situation.
Oh, but we went for Watch Night service. We had a prophetic word. This is our year of financial independence.
Okay.
Breakthrough will come.
So
you
maybe
didn't say amen.
maybe we should do
You didn't say amen.
a verse. Amen. Maybe we should do a verse battle. Because I will quote to you
Yes.
that Paul says that you should be able to
Abase.
abase and abound.
Right.
Right? And then the verse immediately after that
Yes.
says you can do all things
things.
through Christ.
Philippians 3.
Yes, who strengthens you.
Yeah.
Now we like to quote doing the all things
Yeah.
without thinking about it. That applies to
Abasing
abasing and abound.
It also
So
says, my Lord will supply all my needs according to his riches in glory.
your needs, not your wants.
Charlie, you have finished me. You have finished me. You have finished me. Let's talk about the investment opportunities,
yes,
right?
but the important thing is this. Whatever happens, save. And it sounds almost unfair.
Like a no-brainer.
It sounds difficult. And you've heard it many times.
Yeah.
But you're going to hear it many more times.
Because that's a way, huh?
That's the only way. Unless you can scrimp and save and cut expenditure so that there is something left that you can now channel into an investment, you're doomed to stay at the level at which you are.
Okay. Now, it's important we appreciate what you've told us.
Yes.
We have to reduce our spending, increase our earning, we have to save, and then we have to invest.
Yes.
Now, in trying to invest so that we can start creating wealth so we don't remain in our poverty-stricken situation, as you've said,
Yeah.
some of us have gotten our fingers bent.
Yes.
And you know where I'm going.
Yes.
So what's a wise investment decision to make?
Okay, now that's a tough one at the moment. In truth, wise in the fact that your fingers have been burnt does not mean that you shouldn't jump back into the investment field.
Right.
I'd like to give the example. If you take your child to school and the teacher teaches gives the child a poor experience, are you going to say that you won't take your child to school ever again?
I'll probably take him to a better school.
You take him to
Or
a
school with better
or you
teachers.
try, but you have a budget,
Right.
right? And that's the tough one. So you have to think through, but you have to jump into the investment market over again. I will suggest that we have a wait and see attitude to find out what's truly happening with this new government and this new, before we jump headfirst into going back into treasury bills
Okay.
and government securities.
Okay.
But I will encourage you, whatever it is, go to your bank and tell them you want to do a fixed deposit, not a savings account.
Okay.
Because a fixed deposit allows you to take advantage of compounding.
Okay.
Now, what that means is that when I put in money, when the interest is earned, in a subsequent period, I will earn interest on interest plus the money I put in.
With a
And
fixed deposit.
With a fixed deposit. So your money grows much faster.
Okay.
So one of the things you should do, whatever institution you're comfortable with, go in there and say you want a fixed deposit or an account that compounds, which means after the end of a period, in the subsequent period, your interest earned is added to the money that you had already.
Right.
And then that becomes a new principal and goes forth so that your money is growing.
Okay.
That's a good investment to make.
Okay.
Because of our experiences, I'll be careful about jumping headfirst back into government securities.
Okay.
A wait and see
We
period.
should give it some time.
Yes, maybe at least let's finish this quarter and see where
Okay.
the whole thing is playing.
Right. But fixed deposit is a safe place
It's
to
a safe place with the institution that you are comfortable with,
Right.
right? And of course, we could spend the next hour talking about this in detail, but given our limited, that's one of the things I want you to do.
Sure.
The other thing I want you to think of is you've got to think of a side hustle.
We need side hustles.
Yes, you need a side hustle.
For us, we call it galamsey.
Call
Not
it
the illegal mining.
Call it galamsey, call it moonlighting, call it locum,
Right.
call it whatever you call it. You need to think through and say, given what I do, how can I earn a little income on the side?
Right.
And some of them are fairly obvious. As a media personality, maybe emceeing
Sure.
or